Hello and a very warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. A very happy Diwali to all of you. Today we'll be covering important news from both these newspapers, the Indian Express as well as the Hindu. We'll be covering all important points with detailed notes that I'll be providing you on our Telegram channel, that is Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. Let's first come to the news and see what are the important portions. Alright, so Nagaland not for 33% quota for women in urban local bodies. So we need to see from here what are the urban local bodies ULB. What is the Constitutional Amendment Act that brought these, or the part of Constitution, and what are the related static knowledge. In another news, more than 15 products from Uttarakhand bag GI tag. So we need to see these products. What are they? Especially from the Himalayan belt. Questions keep on coming in the prelims. Such as in 2022, one question came on the Gucci mushroom. So these things are very important. Next, chip of the block as incentive for semiconductors. So we need to see what are semiconductors and what we can pick from such editorials or articles. In the next one, we'll see acknowledge India's economic success too. So post-COVID, already a question has come in GS3 about the K-shaped recovery. Alright, so question can come again on the India's economic recovery after COVID and what is the current purview of the economics. The Agartala Akhora link. So we'll see the mapping portion here especially as this is between India and Bangladesh. In the next news, we'll talking about the Gwalior. We'll see the mapping as well as again here and deal with the art and culture portion, that why it has been declared the city of music. New island emerges after undersea volcano erupts off Japan. So we'll see the volcanic and geological processes here. And again, see the mapping of the Pacific Ring of Fire. And further on, there are many news which we'll deal one by one. Okay, moving forward. So Nagaland's not for 33% quota for women in urban local bodies. Let us see about this. So the Nagaland Assembly unanimously passed bill. These words are important. Unanimously means in a same vote or same call. That means with no disagreement basically. Passed a bill that retained a 33% reservation for women in urban local bodies. So we need to see what are these urban local bodies. But the Nagaland Municipal Bill 2023 has done away. Done away means it has ended this with women's reservation for the post of chairperson in municipal bodies. The municipal polls in the state were last held in 2004. Alright. So we don't have much concern with Nagaland especially. We'll see later. Right now, we'll just deal with the mapping here. So in this India's map, you can see Nagaland here. Okay, whenever you see a state, first of all, see it in the view of India. That means all Indian states must be on your fingertips. Which one is this, which one is this, and boundaries especially. That the state of, like the boundaries of which state are there with another states. Alright, so let's come about Nagaland. So this we can see here is Assam. Then this is Arunachal Pradesh. This then is Nagaland. So Nagaland has boundaries with Arunachal Pradesh this side. This side it has with Assam, the longest boundary. Then this is, which is state? Manipur. This is Mizoram. This is Tripura. And this is Meghalaya. Alright, so this side is Myanmar. This is international boundary. Here we can see this is Assam here, Manipur here, Myanmar here, and Arunachal Pradesh here. This is the Mon village where the AFSPA came into news. So this you can read in a different topic. There is many issue of internal security also in Myanmar. So that we will see later. Sorry, Nagaland, that we will see later. So let's talk about the history of Nagaland a bit. So pre-independence period, Nagaland was originally part of the Naga Hills. So remember this, which was a district in Assam during the British rule. The Naga people consisting of various tribes have a rich history, a distinct cultural identity. Many tribes there are, Angami Naga, etc. You can read about them. Post-independence period. So India gained independence in 1947. The Naga Hills district remained part of Assam for then. And Naga National Council was formed in 1946, led by Angami Zapu Pizo, demanding the creation of a separate Naga state. So a separate Naga state was created. In 1953, the government of India initiated talks with the NNC to address the Naga issue. And Naga Hills district was upgraded to a full-fledged state within the Union of India in 1963. So 1963 was the year when Nagaland came into being as a separate state. And it was the 16th state of Indian Union. It was separated from Assam. So still there are many internal issues in Nagaland, security issues especially, and immigration issues because it shares an international boundary with Myanmar. Alright, so you can read about them in GS3. Now let's move forward to some GS2 portion, that is urban local bodies. So they refer to a local governing bodies that are responsible for administration and governance of the urban areas. The primary functions of urban local bodies include urban planning, infrastructure development, public health, water supply, sanitation, and overall municipal governance. In India, ULB are classified into three main categories. One is the municipal corporations. So they are for the larger urban areas or metropolitan cities. Second ones are the municipal council. They are for smaller urban areas. And third ones are the Nagar Panchayat. The municipal council or Nagar Palika, they are governed by a chairperson and a chair council, which may be divided into wards. Established in transitional areas which are in the process of urbanization, governed by a Sarpanch and a council, that is Nagar Panchayat. The establishment of ULB and their power and functions are outlined in the Constitution of India. So ULB are constitutional bodies. ULB are constitutional bodies. The relevant constitutional amendment that provided the constitutional status to ULB is the 74th Amendment Act of 1992. So 74th Amendment Act of 1992. So which part did this Constitutional Amendment Act add? It added Part 9A. Part 9th A to the Constitution, which deals exclusively with municipalities. In the comment section, you can tell me about the panchayats. Three types. So it provides three types. We are already seen municipal corporation, councils, and Nagar Panchayats. The reservation is there for ST, SC, and women. So in Nagaland now 33% criteria has been approved. So it defines the power and responsibility of municipalities. Sometimes this question is also asked that which body is responsible for conducting the elections of ULB. So that body is State Election Commission. Alright, so Act mandated the establishment of State Election Commission to conduct elections in the ULB. Okay, let's come to the next news, that is more than 15 products from Uttarakhand bag GI tags. So we'll see about Uttarakhand, we'll see about the GI tags, and we'll see what products are these. Just a second. Okay, so from a local brick tea to textiles made from Himalayan plant. This Himalayan plant, etc. are very, very important for prelims. Over 15 products from Uttarakhand have been given the coveted GI tag. Coveted means seeked after, let's say. Okay, by the Geographical Indications Registry, that is GIR. So please remember the body that approves the GI tags. Uttarakhand's Barinak tea, highly sought after by the London tea houses and tea blenders, is made from the leaves of a plant that grow wild. Please remember these things. This plant grows wild. This was the same question that came about the Gucci mushroom. That this grows wild or is domesticated. So in the Himalayas, which are then compressed into solid mass. Please remember all these things. I am again and again focusing. Bichu booty fabrics made from Himalayan nettle fibers were also on the list. As the plant's fibers are hollow, they have the unique ability to accumulate air inside, thus creating a natural insulation and making an ideal clothing material for both winters and summers. Other things are like Uttarakhand Mandua, a finger millet. So millet mission is there. 2023 is IYOM, International Year of Millets. So please remember this also. That is part of the staple diet in many parts of the state. Was among the products granted GI tag. Similarly, Jhangora, a homegrown millet commonly cultivated in the rain-fed areas of Himalayas in the Uttarakhand, got a tag. Gahat is one of the most important pulses growing in the dry regions of the state, whose medicinal uses have been known to Ayurveda and traditional physicians for centuries. So please remember all these names. Uttarakhand Lal Chawal, a red rice organically grown in Purola region. was also on the list. Other products to receive GI tags include the Kala Bhat, Malta fruit. This you can also see. Alright, I will be providing you notes on the channel. Okay, let's move further. A GI sign is used on the products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities or reputation that are due to that origin. So this is about the GI tags. The nodal agency for such is DPIIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. India, as a member of the WTO, enacted the geographical indications of goods. This tag or this act was enacted in 1999. That is ineffective from 2003. GIs have been defined under Article 22 of the WTO Agreement on TRIPS, that is trade-related aspect of intellectual property rights. The tag stands valid for 10 years. This TRIPS was much in news during the COVID period because of the COVID vaccines. Let's also talk about the Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand has boundaries. Uttarakhand is located here. Just a second. Okay, Uttarakhand is located here on the eastern side of India, north, or you can say just northern side of India in the east, and it has boundaries with China here. In the north, it has boundaries with Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. All right, and there's a tri-junction border here with the Haryana. Okay, let's go here. This one. Just a second. Okay. So this is Himachal Pradesh. Here we saw the tri-junction border with Haryana a little bit. And this is Uttar Pradesh. Largest boundaries with Uttar Pradesh. Then boundaries are with Nepal and China. Okay. You can see many important places here. This is Rudraprayag, Kedarnath, etc. So the all Char Dhams are here. So during the medieval period, Uttarakhand was part of, just a second. This history is very important. As let's say we read about Nagaland right now. So we know that it was under the Assam or Naga Hills district. Under the Assam state. And in 1963, it became Nagaland. So just by reading this lecture, we know this much about the Nagaland or creation of Nagaland. So this is why we should also read about the Uttarakhand, let's say. And one by one, we can cover all states. So during the medieval period, Uttarakhand was part of the Katyuri and Chand dynasties. The Katyuri dynasty ruled the Kumaon region, while the Gadwal region was under the sway of Chand kings. So it was again under the Chand dynasty during the medieval period. What happens in the medieval period? We often talk about the Delhi Sultanate and Delhi related dynasties, but we must also remember what was happening in and around the India. The British period, after the Anglo-Nepalese War, the Treaty of Sugali established the Kali River as the western boundary of British territories in the region. This Kali River also serves as the boundary between India and Nepal. So please remember this treaty. This was in the news because Nepal has a disputed region with India named as Kalapani. So the western boundary of territories, Uttarakhand became part of the British Indian state of United Province of Agra and Awadh, or Audh, what we know as Awadh right now, and Agra. Post-independence, so India gained independence in 1947, the state became part of Uttar Pradesh. Over the years, demand for a separate statehood gained momentum due to cultural, geographical and administrative reasons. The agitation for a separate state culminated in success with the passage of Uttar Pradesh Reorganization Act in 2000. On November 2000, Uttarakhand was formed as the 27th state of India, consisting of Garhwal and Kumaon divisions. Alright, so Nagaland we saw was in 1963, Uttarakhand in 2000. Okay, so there's a huge gap of 37 years between these. Moving forward to the next news. So chip of the block. So this news is basically about semiconductors. So semi plus conductors. Semi means half. That means we can control their conductivity depending upon how we want them to conduct something. And conduction is basically about electricity or flow of electrons. So if we can control the electricity or flow of electrons, we can control circuits. So they make the circuits essentially. That's why semiconductors are important for us. So India has a semiconductor mission also. So what we are saying, an incentive for semiconductors per course corrections are due. That means semiconductors incentives are there as per the semiconductor mission. But there still have to be some course corrections. So I'll just briefly dictate this. So underutilized PLI funds, production linked incentive funds. So production linked incentive PLI for semiconductor India reportedly underutilized. So this is one thing. This you can study in JS3 also, science and tech. By over 80% raising questions about the government's objective outcome. Lack of clarity on achievements. So there's a need for government to provide clear insights into the achievements and future goals of spending significant amounts. So there are 40,000 crore rupees for semiconductor display PI. One thing is limited employment and value addition. You can read all this in the notes I'll give you. There's no effective output of dictating all this. Global manufacturing challenges. There are focus on semiconductor design talent. There's import dependency. This is the main thing here. We still import a large number of semiconductors and raw materials. Uncertain technological landscape. Clarity on desired outcomes and need for tangible outcomes. So basically this all notes you can read and add into your notes. This is a very small circuit. Alright, so this you can see. Semiconductors are materials with electrical conductivity between conductors like metals and insulators like non-metals. The most common semiconductor is silicon. This please remember. Just a second. Sorry, I wrote here QC. It's IC, integrated circuit. It's a very small IC. So semiconductors play a crucial role in electronics, serving as the foundation for various electronic components. What happens with silicon? We mix other metals in this, and it's known as doping. So based upon the doping, the semiconductor's properties change. They are the heart of integrated circuits of microchips, which power electronic devices such as computers, smartphones, and other digital systems. Okay, let's come to the next editorial, which is about India's economic success. So in financial year 2023, India grew year over year at 2%, that is 7.2, the fastest among major economics. In 2024, the IMF projects India's YOY growth at 3, that is 6.3%. Again, the fastest among major economies. So what is the context here? IMF projections are India is currently the 5th largest economy in the world in US dollar terms. It projects that India will be the 3rd largest economy by 2027. So these lines are very important, can be majorly used in any answer related to economics in the mains. India has registered the highest growth rate among G20 countries, surpassing China for 2 successive years. So furthering on the same thing, IMF historical data shows that India took 6 decades to cross the $1 trillion GDP mark in 2007. There are further notes about this. This is the context here. The GDP and the per capita GDP in purchasing power parity. So please remember all these things. What is GDP? What is PPP? So it determines what a US dollar can buy in that country. So India has the 3rd highest with GDP of 13 trillion. China is at top, the US is second. So PP conversion rates may vary widely across countries. That's not important for us. One more thing is India's conversion ratio from dollar to PPP is 3.5, almost twice that of China at 7. So if a US dollar can buy a burger in home country, the country can buy 3.5 burgers in India and 1.7 burgers in China. So we are faring not very well, but okay-ish in the terms of PPP. India's per capita income is the lowest in G20 countries in both dollar and PPP terms. This is not so good. China's one-child family policy. So when we talk about the per capita income, while we are the 5th largest economy or the strongest economy, just a second, and doing extremely well among the G20 countries, what we need to see is we are overpopulated. As a country, we are strong, but per capita, the wealth distribution is completely unequal, and due to the overpopulation, our per capita income is very, very less. Alright, so US is a top with per capita GDP of $80,000. So these are further notes. You can read about them when I send the notes to you. There is no point of, let's say, dictating everything, but the detailed notes will be available on the channel. The way forward, we must see report by Niti Aayog, a remarkable decline in the prevalence of multidimensional poverty of India. This multidimensional poverty is again very important. Sometimes it comes in prelims as well as mains. So 13-point program crore Indian are estimated to have, 13.5 crore Indians are estimated to have escaped multidimensional poverty between 1516 and 1921. Rural areas largely drive the decline in the headcount ratio of the multidimensional poverty index, because this multidimensional poverty not only deals with the economic progression, it also deals with the health, literacy, etc. There have been tangible process in rural living standards aided by policy focus on basic amenities. Furthermore, National Family Health Survey for 19 and 21 provides ample evidence of a significant improvement in area of indicators concerning the quality of rural life, including access to electricity. Earlier also I told you about the Ujjwal Yojana and other Yojanas of schemes of government, so please read about them. Improved drinking water sources, coverage under health insurance schemes. So Ayushman Bharat scheme here you can see. Various health-related indicators such as institutional births, immunization, health insurance coverage have also seen an uptrend. The government support for agriculture has led to fruits, vegetables, the dairy and livestock products combined, and fishery growing at unprecedented growth rates. Fishery, we have some dispute with the WTO, so you can read about that. The share of fruits and vegetable in food basket have increased to 19.4% in 2021. So there are further more things. The last conclusion is India is aware of the long road ahead to achieve high income status and high quality of life for majority of its citizens. So these notes you can access on the Telegram channel. If there's any problem, you can write to me in the comment section. I'll reply to you. So for this lecture, we'll just cover till here. In the next lecture, we'll cover more news. Thanks a lot for being here. This is Yatharth here signing off. I'll see you in the next video.